in future states, Governor, do you think what you've risked here is those who vote in future states, because Ted Cruz has a mathematical route to get this. It's very tough. You're quite right in the case of Kasich. But you're ruling it out when that was the one thing you had argued before the Florida primary you didn't want to do. But now you are ruling it out for them because he looks inevitable. I could play the math and say, well, he might be, but he's a long way from being there.
He's either going to have a majority or he's going to be pretty close. Think about it. This is election time where the citizens don't trust the politicians. And so
I know that, but what is pretty close to you? Pretty close to you. He's argued that if he has a big enough lead, and he's close enough, he should get the nomination. There are these little rules that say half the available delegates plus one, which is 1,237. If he's at 1,100, is Governor Rick Scott of Florida saying it's his nomination?
He's going to be so, I mean, the odds are he's going to be so far ahead that if the party leaders decide to go a different direction, then they're going to lose the support.
Well, no, but if he gets to the first ballot, Governor, and he doesn't have 1,237, yes, he might have a lead, but he didn't get it on the first ballot, right? So no one's taking anything from it.
I believe it'd be a mistake, Neil. I think it'd be a big mistake when you look at the voters that are coming in to vote for Donald Trump. They're active now in the Republican Party that weren't active before. If he goes to the convention with being very close to having all the delegates he needs and doesn't get it, I think it will be very difficult.
But it's happened before, right? No, it's happened before. I'm just saying, I don't know how it will end up. I am saying there is this thing we have to get 1,237 delegates. You seem to be saying that there will be hell to pay if he doesn't get the nomination when he doesn't have the 1,237 delegates. Those are the rules. Everyone understood it's 1,237. You seem to be saying if he doesn't get them on the first ballot, he should still be the nominee?
I think that if he's where we all believe he's going to be, and if we don't coalesce behind him, then we're going to have a very difficult time winning November. I'm
sorry, sir, that's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. If he doesn't get the 1,237 on the first ballot, he is not the nominee. Technically, he's not. Now, he might get it on a second ballot.
Oh, absolutely.
He might get it on a third ballot. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would hope that he has the 50%, but if he's close, he needs to be our nominee because we've got to start coalescing this party. And we need to figure out how we win in November.
Governor, this is an important distinction. I'm worried because I just wanted to be fair to everybody, as I'm sure you do. There have been many candidates who've entered a convention with delegate leads. Lyndon Johnson had far more delegates committed to him than John F. Kennedy. Even with John F. Kennedy's winning so many primaries, that was the case where party bosses kind of dominated the scene. Now, we all know what happened then. All I'm saying is, are you shifting the rules a bit that if Donald Trump has a big enough lead, but not quite the majority, it should still be given to him? Shouldn't we go through the motions of ballots and see if he gets a 1,237, great, he's off to the races? Are you saying that's not the case?
You know, well, clearly at the convention, the rules will be followed. My belief is if he's close to the 50%, clearly if he's there, it's fine. But if he's close to the 50% and he doesn't get the nomination, we'll have a very difficult time winning in November. That's why I believe we ought to coalesce behind him now.
So why do we have ballots at all? Governor, why do we have ballots at all then? Close is not a done deal. You seem to be advocating if he's close and he doesn't get it, that's not fair. Well, if he's close and he doesn't get it, that's the way the cookie crumbles, right?
It's absolutely what the rules are. The rules should be followed. My belief is if he's that far ahead and he's close, if we don't choose Donald Trump, then we'll have a very difficult time winning November. The most important thing to me is making sure we have a president that wins, that helps with jobs, the Second Amendment, getting the right justices to make sure we change the direction of this country. I need a federal partner that's going to help me in Florida.
All right, real quickly, and you've been very patient. That would be like saying your opponent, when he was ahead in the polls by 10 points with only weeks to go to the election, give it to him because he had a big lead. If we had stopped it there, we'd have a very different governor of Florida. We didn't do that. There was a process called Election Day. There's a process at the convention called a first ballot, then if necessary a second ballot, then if necessary a third, and on and on. By that token, Abraham Lincoln in 1860 would have never gotten a chance to be president because another guy had a bigger lead in delegates. Abraham Lincoln had a follow-up lead in future ballots. Abraham Lincoln, by Governor, you're saying would never happen.
Well, it's totally different to having polls than having votes. We've had a very contested primary with a lot of great candidates, some good friends of mine, a lot of governors that I've worked with. We've had Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush from Florida. We've had a very contested primary.
But that's not what I'm saying. Others have
November,
had delegate leads. In 1860, I mentioned that one just as an example for your party, where others had big delegate leads. And this guy, Lincoln, was nowhere in that bunch. And then they all kind of eventually settled on him as a consensus figure. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but what stopped the guy who led from happening is he didn't get to the required delegates. There's a reason why they required half the convention delegates plus one.
You know, my belief is Donald Trump has shown that he's brought so many new people into the party. He's winning. He's way ahead in the delegate count. He's going to be way ahead at the convention. It's going to be a big mistake if we want to win in November.
All right.
I want a nominee that's going to win.
Okay, Governor, thank you very, very much. We'll see what happens.